Hello. Welcome back to Build Showcase. It's Gunner's turn again, and I want to say something up front about what I might be doing in the future in place of these videos. The Build Showcase will persist for a very long time. It will turn into being in the form of more so overclocked reviews. I've been pretty upfront about that. This definitely leans into that, given that we are actually using a build that is not composed of two unused overclocks. One of them is the main feature, the mine layer? No. Plasma Burster missiles is the main feature of this build, but the other overclock on our secondary is not one that hasn't been used before. It has been used before. But anyway, what I'm talking about is I'm going to pretty soon, after this round of builds, once we've gotten to the next scout one, after that, I'm going to be doing something completely different. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be gameplay focused still. It's going to be divided between the classes still. You might be able to guess. If you can somehow guess, please try and guess in the comments, but you probably won't. I don't know if I'm going to put it off until after Season 5, though, because once I finish the next Scout one, we'll be very close to Season 5, which means that overclock focused videos on the new overclocks will start dropping when Season 5 comes out. As in, I might just have a break from these videos once the Scout one's done until after Season 5, and then I can start doing the Season 5 overclock video specifically. And then after that, you'll start to see what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll tell you. I'm going to be trying to use the classes without any upgrades or overclocks and just see how well I can do. What's the best pairing on each class in terms of naked weapons? I'm going to try and do that, but I think that is going to be after Season 5, although I will most likely try and record one as like a test before. That would be Engineer. But we'll see. Today, though, we are on the last gunner build before Season 5 that I'm going to be showing off, and it is Plasma Burster missiles, which is an overclock that has had a pretty interesting life. It's only really come to be great, or even good, with Season 4, but it started out very strange. I would say Plasma Burster missiles is the thing that held back the Hurricane for me from being like a really great weapon, but it still took me a long time to realize everything else that was good about it. The fact that it's just a good weapon by default, and the only good things aren't just jet fuel, homebrew, and mine system. The fact that both the cleans are great, especially fragmentation missiles. Salvo module absolutely has a place. Rocket barrage is fun, probably the worst of the bunch though. But Plasma Burster missiles is fantastic, and it used to be as well, but only in the Season 1 experimental branch. So that is actually before Season 1 even released. That's before the Hurricane was even actually released. Plasma Burster missiles was an absolute god. It was extremely overpowered. I don't think it's overpowered anymore. I think there's a discussion to be had about how it might be a bit too good at what it does, but I don't think that equals overpowered either. But it was so overpowered during the experimental branch that they nerfed it into the ground in fear of it breaking the game once it actually released. And yeah, so they nerfed it into the ground, and it became really bad. It became one of the worst overclocks in the game, in fact. It was really, really bad. And it had a lot to do with... It was to do with a lot of things. It had some things that just made it bad, like the damage was too low and things like that. But really, the worst part was the fact that you just couldn't use it, right? You could really only use it against tall enemies and flying enemies, because the rockets would destroy themselves when they hit terrain. And they still do, but not when you're targeting an enemy. And that's why Plasma Burster missiles actually surprises me as being a very smart overclock. The fact that it knows when you're targeting an enemy. Obviously it has to, but it only doesn't contact with terrain when you're targeting an enemy. If you're not actually targeting something, it will just, dissolve into the terrain. But if you're not, if you are targeting an enemy, it will just pass through the terrain in order to hit that enemy. Kind of. It's a little bit finicky still, but it works in the sense that Plasma Burster missiles is now an amazing mixed overclock. I think it leans more towards single target, which I guess makes it confusing that I'm not using shrapnel load, and I guess I should go through what we're using. Ammo in tier 1 is kind of... I wouldn't say it's a must, but the difference between these two is very small. As in, the damage is not much for how much ammo you lose. You have a very small amount of ammo, and I kind of prefer the reliability. You can still... Like, Plasma Bursters is still extremely efficient and deadly without it, without the extra damage. And honestly, the extra damage might just mean we use up more missiles than we need to anyway. Because You only need one missile for a grunt, for example, anyway, even with just ammo. And radius will not be doing anything for us, I don't think. I haven't used it with radius, but I cannot perceive it being good for that. Plasma Burst is much more of a single target overclock anyway. Tier 2, bigger jet engine I think is essential, because it increases projectile speed and turn rate. And turn rate is extremely important. Yes, Plasma Bursters does help with that too. I think it increases velocity and turn rate. At the very least, it increases turn rate a lot. Increased missile maneuverability. But we also increase it a lot by taking bigger jet engine. And it really helps us control them, but also it really helps them just focus in on enemies when we are actually targeting them. And anti-tank missiles obviously are much better than they used to be, but, you know, they're not actually going to help us, I don't think. Tier 3, fire rate. This is actually a recent development. Now, this build has been in the works for a while, but more so just in the sense of me honing my skills with plasma bursting missiles. I used to use nano missiles for the increased ammo because I just saw the plasma bursting missiles ammo penalty is so detrimental. I mean, how much is it? It's, 108 reduction. That's quite a lot we're missing out on. In fact, that is a lot that we're missing out on, in fact. That is a bunch of ammo. So I really saw that extra 36 as essential as well, but it's really not. And what the fire rate allows us to do, especially when you learn how many missiles you need to take down enemies, it allows you to get all those missiles out so much quicker and just handle situations quicker. It doesn't actually do anything to the missiles themselves, but getting the missiles out quicker is a very noticeable boon, especially when we're dealing with single targets that need more than one missile, which is most of them. Even a guard, I think it's 2. I think you can kill a guard with 2 missiles. It might be 4 though. No, not 4. It's either 2 or 3. Okay, tier 4. I take zip fuel because the plasma bursters they don't target weak points, you know? Sometimes you do hit weak points, but one thing you always be hitting, as long as you have okay aim, is the enemy itself. But not necessarily the weak point. So zip fuel is just ensuring that we are doing more damage consistently. I found it to work very well. The single target aspect feels as good as it should, I think, but it also makes it a bit stronger in crowd clearing situations where it suffers a bit. Not with dense crowds though. Plasma Buster missiles is fantastic against densely packed groups of enemies, but sort of sparsely populated groups it really struggles against unless you have like really good aim. I do think Plasma Burster missiles is probably something that benefits from using a mouse. I am on console, so there are some issues there. Deep Rock is a game with very minimal, sometimes I feel like no aim assist. Plasma Buster missiles is hard to use with controller in terms of how much you have to keep your aim focused on an individual enemy and how often you need to sort of pass that aim around to actually take down groups of enemies. Hopefully that makes sense. Tier 5 is a no-brainer for me. Napalm infused round is going to do nothing. Our actual damage per hit is so low, it takes far too long to set enemies on fire for it to be worth it. Our DPS is high, but our damage per hit is not. So fire is really not what we want. And, you know, our damage is dangerously low. In that, yes, we can achieve high DPS, but if we reduce our damage at all, which we do by taking napalm infused rounds, it's a very noticeable downgrade, and I don't think it's worth it at all. A lot of people will think nitroglycerin compound because your missiles spend a lot more time in the air, and I believe it does work, but it only applies to area damage, and frankly, Plasma Burster missiles is essentially a damage over time effect that stacks, which is why we need stun. We need to be able to control those enemies, you know? And that is basically sort of fast enemies that have deadly attacks that can be stunned. Things like oppressors and dreadnoughts and other bosses, you know you can't stun them, but you can position yourself in a way where you can hold the missiles on them for a while without being in danger. Things like menaces and praetorians and trijaws, we don't have that luxury. Stun is really, really useful against them. It's basically just used to lock down those targets, you know? Stingtails as well are a big one. Stingtails and spreaders. Stingtails have actually, in my opinion, increased the value of taking this. And I think that's really cool. So basically, this to me is the best way to build Plasma Burster missiles, unless I'm missing some magic that involves, like, increased blast radius. I don't think I am. This is a really feel-good way to use Plasma Bursters. I personally love using it, and it's my recommendation. Secondary, I would say it's actually kind of up to you as long as you pivot towards AoE, crowd control and crowd clearing. Your crowd clearing doesn't need to be too strong. I have gone for a weird ultramagnetic coils build, and this is the repeat. Obviously, we've done ultramagnetic coils before. I believe that was the first gunner build. Was this one? It's this, basically. He didn't look like this at the time. He looks like this now, though. I mean, look at that. That's a good look, right? I mean, that's pretty good. You know, using two of my least favorite items, which are, you know, a forced color framework and a forced color hat, and somehow make it, like, come on, right? That's good, right? Anyway, so it used to be that, and I still use this quite a lot. Ultramagnetic coils is insanely overpowered and just completely slept on still. I was able to make it a pretty different version of it from normal. The main difference is that I took resonance tuning in tier 1 instead of larger battery. That increased duration is weirdly powerful. This overclock is still so absurdly efficient that it really doesn't matter that we have a lot less ammo. You know, it's like 280, which is 28 shots that we lose, you know, because we only use 10 ammo per shot thanks to controlled magnetic flow. It's so good. It is my personal recommendation to pair with it, but I do think you can get away with any crowd control or crowd clearing oriented secondary build. But this is my personal recommendation. It's my personal side arm for Plasma Burster missiles. So take that as you will. I don't think it's completely essential. Grenade is also non-essential. I can't really perceive a true essential pairing for this build. I just kind of like incendiary grenades. I would say grenade is up to you, in fact. You might want to take something like... I think... Hold on, do these things stun? No, they don't. But, you know, the cluster grenade and the sticky grenade have crowd clearing involved, or crowd control involved in them, so you might want to consider that. Everything else is standard. Zipline, you know, it's a zipline launcher, whatever. I mean, I think my build is probably the best, though, still. Shield generator, do what you want. It's not specific. Same with perks. As per usual, it's my standard perk setup. Born Ready is standard for Gunner. Vampires are standard for everyone. Resupply is just a nice convenience perk. You can sort that off wherever you want, like Veteran Depositor or Fawns or Friendly. Whatever. Not Friendly. What am I talking about? Standard solo perk. Stash is an essential, just always. Item sensors will get swapped out for Field Medic in co-op, but that's my standard perk setup. And I think it's time to dive in. I've got a mission lined up. Thankfully, for me, it's an assignment mission. It's a big egg hunt with parasites, which I think is a really solid mission. Sort of just test the build out on. There's a good chance we'll get some extra activities. It's actually not like a great one for this, which is I think is a good thing. I think this is going to show you actually. It will obviously show you how good Plasma Bursters is because it's hard not to see that, but it will also put on display immediately the weaknesses and why my coil gun build is such a good side piece for this build. Because Plasma Bursters are actually really bad against tiny enemies, which the Hurricane normally isn't, especially if you go for a fragmentation missiles. You can get a really efficient tiny enemy destroyer, basically. But Plasma Bursters is really bad against tiny enemies, but this coil gun build is not. In fact, taking the increased trail duration over increased ammo on the coil gun actually made it better against tiny enemies, because you can essentially set up electric walls that you can lead the enemies into, and it works wonderfully. Okay, let's see what we got. Spreader, that's a good start. I think 2 missiles is enough for a spreader. It is, and there's some parasites immediately. That brood necklace we're going to take out from distance. I don't know how many missiles you need. I think now it's 10? I just shot. 10 did it. In fact, you could probably get away with 8 or 9. Probably even less than 10. There's one menace there, which is good. Definitely want to fight that. Right, a bunch of tiny enemies, that's good too. So I can show you this. So we can sort of lead them into it from this side. Sort of pass over. They'll come through. It all just kind of works. That menace we're going to ignore. We're going to take out this goo bomber. That was 5 missiles just now. And it looks like 5 missiles will do the trick. So yeah, I hope you're already seeing how ridiculous Plasma Bursters is. Now, you can immediately destruct that Warden with the Fear from our coil gun, because the Fear is a superior upgrade over the Stun. Menace is a bit of a problem because it has projectiles already coming at us, but that was barely any ammo once again. Yeah, so I hope you're already seeing how amazing Plasma Burst missiles is I could have interrupted that menace with the coil gun, because this is the only problem with Plasma Bursters is the travel time, and sort of the damage over time aspect, which makes it, you know, you're not super safe if you're just using it constantly and just focusing on enemies with Plasma Bursters. Which is why the coil gun is such a good pairing, because it's so efficient and such a good safety insurer. Because you can't really get away with doing what I'm doing right now in a swarm scenario, really. You would probably just get killed. So you have to be really careful and make good use of the coil gun to disrupt the enemies, as well as shields as well, which are really important. But this coil gun is ridiculously powerful. And as usual, I'm going to skip between sort of combat scenarios and sort of more exciting moments, so I will see you in a minute. Obviously for you it'll be instantaneous. You know what I want to do actually? I want to take out this breeder for you. See how quickly we can kill it. Right, we've awoken a Spitballer, which is bad, but I think we can get it to cover pretty easily. That was like 15 missiles, and that was probably excessive, I think. Alright, get a shield here. Put that down. Right, now we kill these Spitballers. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad of a situation as I thought. Oh no, there they are. Yeah, so incendiary grenades are quite good against Spitballers, as you might have just seen. And yeah, what I'm doing right now with the coil gun is efficient. It sort of looks like I'm just ammo dumping, but seriously, you don't need to worry. It's so stupidly efficient at just doing its job. Oh shit. This is a situation where I need to use the coil gun for safety reasons. Yes, I'm not really looking at the ground enough, I'm going to be honest. I'm so focused on other things. But sort of long-lasting coil gun trails are really helping against the parasites. They sort of just come out and just die pretty soon after they come out. Okay. So how many was it for the Brute Nexus? I think we can do it with 8, potentially, if we target the weak points. Which does tell you that Plasma Bursters can hit weak points, I suppose. Just trying to ignore the little fellas. Right, 9. Or 8, I think that was 8, yeah. 8 did the trick. We probably could have even done it with less, actually. Wow, okay. Well, that is impressive. And we have used up a lot of ammo already, but think about what we've killed already, you know? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff indeed. Alright, Bosco. I wonder if this spawns swarm? It did. Wow. There you go. This is not a bad place for a fight. Not at all. Alright, grab that. Thank you, sir.
Combat positions. The swarm is here.
Yeah.
Firewall!
Right, Praetorian, perfect. I definitely want to show Praetorians. Be eviscerating Praetorians. That spread needs to go.
Lift septic spreader down!
Motherfucker.
Weapon ready. Die! Players, not ready yet. Eat blood!
Dun, 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 dun. want to point out, like I said, I have been practicing with Bursters for a while, but this build really only came to fruition yesterday. Where I truly realised what I wanted, like what Plasma Burster build I wanted to present to you. So bear that in mind. I am very confident in it. I'm just not the most rehearsed in it, I suppose. I would say. But pay no heed to that, young hobbit. I am more than skilled enough. Right, grab that egg, Bosco. Okay, so one missile can almost kill 2 grunts. I think is worth pointing out. Just give you an idea of how stupidly powerful these things are. Alright, Torian. I don't know the actual numbers, but I think we might be able to do it in... I'm going to start with 8. I feel like it's got to be at least 8. So let's go down to... Right, Bosco. Look over there. So 8 goes down to 28 ammo in the clip. Easily. Could have done it with less. There was like 5 missiles like left over. That's ridiculous. Holy shit. I think we could have done it with like 6 missiles though. Probably 6 or 7. I think 5 would actually be weird. Like it might actually not quite be enough. They are a little bit weird like that. Like they don't feel too consistent in the actual damage output. But I'm not worried about that, to be honest. Also, my fucking foot is cramping up. Right. Let's just marathon these eggs actually from a distance. I think would be a good way to just sort of get a bunch of enemies in. Although I should keep this mission fairly brief because I do want to do an industrial sabotage as a second mission video. For some reason, obviously I don't like industrial sabotages that much, but I can. Oh, an oppressor. Hello. That's good. Well, oppressors aren't good. That's the thing. Oppressors, because you can't really disrupt them, you kind of just have to dance around them until they die. But we can handle that. I don't know what the number would be for an oppressor. I think it's probably going to be somewhere around 15 or 16, maybe like maybe half the clip actually. Let's go down to about that. You have to ignore that guard for now because I'm just doing an experiment. Okay, yeah. Like I thought, oppressors are pretty fucking tough against Plasma Bursters. They just resist, you know. They just resist. That should do it. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Alright, let's cut a bit now. Alright, so I spawned a swarm and I still haven't taken a resupply, so this should be interesting. Really, I don't know, prove the efficiency that I've been, banging on about. Hopefully. Unless I die, in which case the opposite would have been proven. That I am a charlatan, not worthy of consideration.
Should have left my nose on the bloody spice rig. What's the fire?
Well, I think this is a good place for a resupply anyway.
Resupply orders.
Supplies are on the way.
Bamboo! Flares ain't ready. Resupply pod is here. Everybody collect ammunition.
Yeah, oppressors are quite impervious Plasma Bursters. Almost. Obviously not literally, but it's kind of the difference between bosses and oppressors, where like on a boss, I don't, if I have to use about half my ammo, that's not like too worrying. But oppressors sort of achieve that effect when they really shouldn't. And it's quite scary. I like it. Obviously, it's not really using half my ammo, but it feels like it. Alright, I'm going to keep it light from here. Probably show you the final swarm, because with it's, you know, it's an egg hunt. It's only going to be 3 swarms at most, but I will definitely keep an eye out for any extraneous activities. I'll see you at the next stop. Although, maybe we could talk a little bit about the build itself. I hope, like, sort of everything I've said is coming through. Really fantastic single target. When we consider the build as a whole, as I presented it, including the coil gun, we kind of don't really have a weakness. As long as you're willing to use the coil gun a lot, you can really keep yourself just out of trouble. Really not in much danger in general. Combine that with when you really need to use the plasma bursters to take down a lot of high HP targets, and I guess I'll keep it going. Shields do come into play, but overall our crowd control is very strong, our single target is very strong. I guess it's just a lot of waiting involved. Like, it's not a very aggressive build, and being aggressive doesn't really help you. Just having more plasma bursters on the field doesn't help you that much. It's just so hard to control when you have so many. Although there, that actually felt pretty good, having lots out at once. Oh, hello. See you there.
What's this? No players ready.
Thank God they increased the base reload speed of the oil gun. It made it a lot stronger.
Meet your maker, Craig. Eat it.
Good news, team. The wave is thinning out.
Fuck it. Let's go down. Alright, full clip. If you really want to get it done, the full clip will do it.
Not ready. There's recharging.
Although it's not what I necessarily want to use my ammo for all the time. Okay, I think that's actually going to be pretty much it for this mission. Unless there is something I haven't seen yet, like a machine event or something. Which, even then, it would have to be like, you know, an omen for it to really be worth showing. There is this guy, though. Who's not really much of a problem. Ah, another breeder. I guess I could show that. I don't know if much value to that. It is just a breeder. And it looks like there isn't anything else in this mission. Right, that's about 16 missiles. Looks like you could do it with maybe 1 less. So let's just say 16. Yes, that's fine.
Flying ready. Born ready.
Yeah, I think this mission is done and dusted, it looks like.
Take your sweet time.
But of course I'll show you if there's anything worth showing. There is a beta gem. Which obviously isn't an activity, but it is something to note, I suppose.
Howie crawlies, come and get some.
Anyway, I think we are about to be done, so I think I will show you the extraction. Well, of course I will. Oh, hello.
Go, there's charging.
No, I am going to try and do. I'm going to try and do this with having only taken 1 resupply.
Deep rocks.
I think that might be a nice little achievement,
Born ready.
personal achievement. So let's just get this over and done with. Give me that egg.
Egg collection
Yeah.
completed. Well done. For the escape pod
Read that.
Come here.
That's how you do it. Drop pod is on the way.
Take that.
Bolt gun is a pretty good pew pew gun.
Reload it.
But yeah, look at that. One resupply. That's all we needed.
Pod has arrived. The mule has been called.
That's efficiency, baby.
Drop pod departing and team
Also proof that I think maximum length egg hunts are probably the shortest maximum length mission. I think point extractions you can definitely do quicker though. But egg hunts you can do pretty quick, like, you know, for how big they appear to be.
Fire in the hole.
You know, it seems like it would be the same as like a 400 Morkite expedition. I actually want there to be a bigger version of egg hunt actually, like a maximum, you know, maximum complexity. You know, because it's not actually maximum complexity for some reason. Like 10 eggs or 12 even, which I swear was a thing, but that might be bullshit as well. I kind of want more extreme versions of the missions anyway, like, and it's like very it's like a thing, it's like a mutator where it's like extra quota or something, I don't know, resource abundance, some shit, you know, like 500 Morkite or 12 eggs, 15 quarks. I don't know how what you would do for other mission types. 5 dreadnoughts, 5 mini mules. Sounds horrible. 5 contagion spikes. 5 more kite wells. On-site refining is definitely one that should have variants. I think a 5, like a bigger one that's 5, should be a thing. Also, I really think that like the deep dive secondary objectives should be brought over into normal. Like, because honestly, they're not. That's not something that's making deep dive special enough to play them. You know, just because you can get like slightly different secondary objectives doesn't make it worth it. I want it to be brought over because I think that secondary objectives would be helped by having a lot more variety. To be honest. Anyway, let's have a look. So we got that one. Is probably a good one. I did say I wanted to do an industrial sabotage. I wonder though. I do wonder. I have to wonder if I turn this on. Okay, no, not touching either of them. So I guess we're just doing a basic one. And I don't think I need to make any changes either. I think I'm very happy with the build as it is. I don't feel a pressing need, pardon me, for any changes, any additions. It is very succinct as it is, I must say. And I think we're just going to roll with it. Use it against some different enemies, use it against a proper boss fight in the form of the Caretaker. I haven't actually mentioned yet that technically when this comes out, we are living in a post on the Horizons broadcast future. But who knows what they revealed? Maybe they revealed the perk. I don't think the perk overhaul's coming in Season 5. They did say at one point that it would have to be a multi-update process, so it's possible there'll be something. You know, it's just the idea is that they're revealing, you know, a lot of new details about Season 5, which obviously can easily be composed of just getting into the nitty-gritty of, like, the new mission type, for example. But still, when they say there'll be lots of new details about Season 5, it's like, well, we already know a fair amount, so what can you really tell us that's brand new, aside from really getting into... I think there will be some stuff that will be expected, like getting into what the season theme really is, how it plays into the mission type, possibly showing some of the overclocks, possibly showing the reactivating seasons feature. But I feel like there are definitely some... I'm not saying there's going to be like a whole other layer to Season 5, but I feel like there will be some surprisingly significant things that we don't know yet, and I think that is exciting. Obviously, we will be live streaming that no matter what. There is a chance that Tyler won't be there, but the plan is for us to both be there doing a live commentary, so please... Well, I guess I shouldn't really be asking you to tune into that, given that it's already happened. So we'll see. Who knows? I really shouldn't be talking about what I hoped in it, I suppose. Just not be talking about it at all. I should be pressing on and finding robot enemies to kill. Let's do that. Right on the doorstep. So this is actually an interesting thing for Plasburst missiles because we can't really stay in one spot. But, you know, if you get close, if you've got balls like I do, then you can sort of get close and it sort of works out in the end. Although what I really do like is when you actually get a good group of turrets, you can use an incendiary grenade to actually do some damage to them. And that is always a lot of fun. A repulsor turret is a bit different because, you know, those shields do get in the way of me. Genuinely. Everything seems to be in order. Fuck off. Fuck off! Little shit! Woo!
Incendiary!
Still alive? Yeah, see, they actually do skewer the aim. So repulsor turrets are pretty gnarly. And sniper turrets are too. So this is one of the weaknesses, is the travel time. It makes it difficult to really use plasma bursters against like ranged enemies that are far away. And you know, so we saw that with the menaces where it had already launched a lot of projectiles before my plasma bursters hit it. I was able to kill it fairly quickly when they did, but they still took some time. And we're going to see the same thing soon with sniper turrets because, well, sniper turrets can't even be stunned. So that's going to be a bigger problem than before. And the Caretaker will be interesting too. It's obviously quite a significant boss enemy. It's the biggest boss enemy. I think Kratos detonators still have the most HP in the game, I think. It's that they have much more vulnerable weak points, and the Caretaker health value that you can see on the wiki doesn't factor in the shields either. Yeah.
Find the power stations powering it and disable them.
Shredders shouldn't be a problem though, because we do have our trusty ultramagnetic coils to handle them. Holy shit, a Corlock! This is brilliant. Okay, this turned into a very good mission to showcase. Wow. Also, is this incendiary grenade bait? Yes, it is. Nice. Probably wasn't worth it, but it felt good. And there's no better motive than feeling good. What are you shooting at, son? Yeah, it's actually kind of hard for me to aim at them. That's how thin they are, which is kind of whack. Ah, some actual Macteras.
What a jaw-dropping experience! Pesticide coming up. Born ready. I need the damn minecart on legs. Where is it? Could really go for a cold brew right now. Bosco, mine it.
Five, it's so delightful. Since we have no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Precious minerals, it will get you killed.
This idiot. Fuck.
Bam! Help me mine this.
Got himself tasered to death. Like a fool.
Victorious fool. Time to
Alright, well I found the Corlock room and some sniper turrets. Oh shit. So, I think this is going to necessitate some shield action.
sniper turret destroyed.
Right, careful with that. Let's go.
There's a
Said Kev, don't do that. That might open the heart. I don't know where the heart is. Okay, I know where the heart is now. Okay. We can do that now, if you like.
shields ready again.
Yeah, that'll open it. Actually, the good thing about this is it doesn't really matter if I have lots of missiles left over because I can just redirect them. It's become an absolute unit. Oh. Oh no! This could be death actually, if I'm not careful. I think I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. I don't know why 3 Praetorians had to show up though. Okay, it's healing, which isn't good, but I can't really afford to get involved in that room at the moment. Right, I'm going to put a resupply down near the Caretaker, just so it's there. Oh, probably around here actually. It's a good place.
Stand back. Supply pod
Praetorian, I'm just gonna kill by tasering it to death. Both of these do.
Damn flares could need an upgrade.
There you go.
Time to restock.
Yeah. Healing pods I can't really afford to focus on though, because I'll just get shot by sprouts if I try and do that. I really need to be careful with how I place myself. Warlocks though are great for this kind of thing.
Incendiary grenade.
Really nice use of incendiary grenades. Yeah, we didn't get much done there, but good enough. Oh, motherfucker. Right, where's the healing pod? It definitely dropped one, right? Ah! Oh! Oh! Okay, I'm gonna have to ignore it for now. I'm in a bit of a pickle here.
No.
Does this lead to the next power station? It does. It does. This is a one tunnel. That's some sabotage. No, don't do that. It's not helpful. Can't really afford to focus on it at the moment. Did it spawn another healing pod, dude? Where the fuck is that healing pod? Oh, it's down here.
Get into cover.
Okay. I think the shield was justified, actually. Yeah, what's going on now? Yeah, I hope this doesn't surprise anyone. I'm going to keep this mission limited to the activities. So once the core looks done, I'll cut to the first power station, then the second one, and then we'll do the Caretaker fight. I think that's fair way to structure this, because otherwise there will just be too much. Although I would like to show you the first patrol bot that I kill, because that might be interesting. Trying to use Plasma Bursters against that. Okay. I think we are in a position to attempt the assassination of Corlock. Apparently I am not. Okay. Healing pod, kill. And resupply, I think, is in order. Before I die miserably to the fiends that want to eat my flesh.
Ready to kill someone crazy.
And I think we're golden. I think we are definitely in a position now to take out Warlock. In fact, I'm so confident I'm going to call this thing down.
Roger that. Hacking pod is launched and on its way.
Perfecto! Perfecto! And I hold true to what I said. I will keep this as brief as physically possible.
Hacking
Hope you enjoyed.
arrived. Get it connected.
You have our first patrol bot already, though. So let's try and bring this idiot down. Thing is, if it stayed still, it would go down very quickly. And even then, that wasn't terrible.
Not ready. Flares recharging. One more for the
Another one. Oh. I don't think you really slow them down by electrocuting them either. Right, that was pretty good. Okay. Power station. Alright, so let's start this.
Hackbot. Get to work.
T-bot! Okay, and I've got my LED lights out as well. So now we're going to see how this thing functions in a pretty high pressure point defense scenario, a la, you know, this mission type, salvage op, escort duty, those kind of things. It's been a really long time since I've had a meteorite event. I know you could get them even if you have season content toggled off. It's just rarer. I think. But I'll admit, this is the kind of thing where the coil gun's really gonna shine.
The drone can't hack as long
Because we're gonna have to spam it, make this work. I think.
We're not gonna hack that power station without the hacker bot.
It's a really potent combination of things because the electricity is so good at just keeping things controlled anyway, but the fear, on top of that, against what it can actually apply fear to, it just compounds to make a really stupidly powerful crowd control weapon.
Wash 'em.
We've got bogeys on the hacking drone.
Detonation successful.
Oh. Okay, I think I need to use the hurricane a bit more.
Bloody hell, you're hot for
More of a coil gun showcase again. Well, I hope you've already guessed, unless you've already done this before, which obviously you might have done. I hope you can guess where I'm going in terms of using this against the Caretaker.
The second power station.
It's fun,
I need the mule
I
right
think.
here.
It's been a while since I've done this, but it's gonna be good. But we're not doing the Caretaker yet. We've got another power station to tend to. Although maybe I should talk about the core look a little bit. So I guess what we saw from the core look is that it definitely works. Even in a situation where the core looks like so, just makes the terrain so dangerous, and you know it's very difficult to move while using plasma bursters, we still pulled through. I think it does show strength of this build. But I wouldn't call it a specific strength that it has either.
Move your tin ass
think
over
stationary
here.
enemies
Hurry, please.
Are something to consider as one of the things that it's not going to excel against. You are put in a pretty dangerous position when you're trying to use it against enemies that can just attack, and that's all they do, you know?
Accurate, but dead. Flares recharging. Shredder drone down.
Okay, so if we're actually quick, we can destroy sniper turrets before they shoot, which is delicious. The fuck was that?
Took out a loot bug.
What was that? That was just nonsense. Whatever. I've got a hacking pod to connect.
We're ready.
The hacking drone when you're
You've
ready.
seen the base of a power station. Well, here you go. Nothing to it. It's just a brick.
Loot bug open.
Isn't that incredible?
Night there. I need you here.
Anyway. Tea time. I'm unresupplied of about half my ammo in total.
Hacking has commenced. Protect
Let's
the
go!
hacking drone.
You're cute, but you're dead. Little bit of Planter Burster crown clearing action for you. The Lonely Triton. Oh, God.
Hack commencing. We need some pest control on the hacking drone.
Yeah.
When I'm done working for DRG, I'm starting my own bloody mine. Show 'em how it's done. Got one of the annoying shredder drones. This one's for Carl. They haven't yet invented a machine that can best the dwarf.
Keep the hacking drone secure.
Weapon ready, hit it.
God, Nemesis is so cool. How many Nemesis have I killed? Sorry about this. 146. Is that it? Oh my god, I killed more Nemesis than Caretakers. Wow.
Flares recharging.
I mean, I guess that's basically how many Industrial Sabotages I've done. I probably failed and aborted a fair amount, but definitely not more than I've actually done.
Both power stations are down.
I hope.
The vault is only shielded with emergency power.
I didn't get much nitro throughout this, although, frankly, I'm not too worried about that. I don't think I'm going to be too pressed for resources. Very efficient build, of course. And yeah, I think you just saw from all that, good at crowd clearing, even with the Plasbursters themselves. It's very easy to stay on top of really intense scenarios just by just mixing it up with the coil gun and the shields and whatnot. It's really... We really have very little weak spots. Oh, one weak spot is actually like when you get a lot of mech terrors at once, but it's still very easy to disrupt them with the coil gun. It just means when they're disrupted, they are moving around a lot, and it's actually fairly hard to hit them with the passive bursters, which is kind of awkward. Come on, chum. Anyway, it is in fact Caretaker time. Where am I going? Okay, I'm going the right way. I'll see you when I'm ready to wake him. Alright, one thing we do have is a shellback. Which we, you know, can't really stun it, but we can kill it with relative ease. Anyway. Wow, that's amazing. I'm bullying this idiot. It's Caretaker time. Let's be honest. This suppressor ain't shit.
Get ready, folks. The force field is about to come down. Ammo taken.
Force field down.
Alright, so the tendrils I'm a little bit worried about because I can't really do much about them, to be honest. They're really hard to hit with Planet Bursters. But what I will be doing is a lot of hitting the vents over and over again. You will hopefully see immediately. Can't even electrocute the appendages, so we kind of need to actually take some out. Really get anywhere with this, but here we go. Oh, that's nice. As soon as I start actually doing it. Alright. Now is my time. Now it's going to spawn an appendage. I don't blame the Caretaker for trying to keep alive, but it is annoying me. Oh! Right, now I might defer to the coil gun for a bit. Of course I managed to hit the you know, the vent with a sliver of health left of a fully charged shot. How it goes. Now we will defer back to Hurricane. But we will of course be using it against the eye. Are you shitting me? Fuck you. Fuck you! Nice. That's actually not bad. And this patrol bot, I'm going to incendiary grenade it. Watch me.
Shredders are coming out of the Caretaker. That's lordly love.
I didn't say it would kill it, but I did hit it with the incendiary grenade, so I think that counts for something.
On the Caretaker's glowing bits.
Oh yeah.
Booyah! Shredder shredded.
I just realised this is pretty samey at this point, isn't it? I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to beat him up. Well, I think a resupply is in order. That one.
The Caretaker is opening its eye thing.
It's fine, as long as it doesn't shoot phase bombs at me.
Horn ready.
Hey. 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 Be nice. Lovely. Luckily, there's arse loads of red sugar over here.
In one place too long, the Caretaker is launching face bombs everywhere.
Woo! Fuck this.
Shoot the glowing field.
Let's get a shield spam until I win.
Wait,
Well, I don't really need to. Wait.
Shredder. Shield charged and ready.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh shit! What? Oh right. I think he is. The brother's wasted. I will not die today. Well, there you go. Even the big bad stationary bastard of the game was not enough to handle my audacity. Plasma missiles. They're good now, and have been for 10 months at this point.
What kind of fiendish tech is Cataract secure?
And I'm very glad that happened. Although, was it? No, it was Season 4. It wasn't the November maintenance update. Jesus Christ.
Our rivals are getting nothing from here.
Yeah.
Done, team.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy, Mission Control. Glad you're happy, Dean Norris.
Drop pod on
And I think doing this is actually really consolidated for me. You know what?
Getting supply.
Should I turn, like, the character volume off? Should I turn the dwarves and the mission control volume off during these videos? I don't know. As far as I know, it is low enough that they, like, I overpower their volume, but I'm not 100% sure.
pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Anyway, I think doing this has actually really consolidated the secondary as well. I think this is really a fantastic build. I don't know if it's literally the perfect synergy for fucking mine layer. I don't know if this is literally the perfect synergy for Plasma Burster missiles, but it feels fantastic. You know, it's like they do. I do feel like there is a synergy here. This is more than just like two good weapons. I think there is something here. How much control we are able to obtain, you know, because Plasma Bursters are very lacking in terms of controlling the flow of combat. You know, you really are sort of ground to a halt when you use them and forced to just, you know, if you need to move, you kind of just have to jump around, and that sort of fucks with, you know, where you're actually guiding the missiles to. The amount of crowd control we get from our coil gun is really helping just control the flow of combat, which is something that the Plasma Bursters can't really do, and it's letting us really focus on the things that we need to focus on. So I do think there is a synergy here, and I just think they're two fantastic ways to build these overclocks anyway, and these weapons in general. So it's a very strong recommendation from me. This is definitely up there in terms of the builds that we've actually done, especially for Gunner. So I think that's going to be it. If you enjoyed this build showcase, then please let me know what you thought, especially if you used the build, and of course you want to see more videos like this, and want to stay on top of everything to do Deep Rock and Rogue Core, then please subscribe to Barrel Vision and click the bell as well. I'm going to stop this before I reach an hour. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.